Welcome to the Lone Ranger Radio Show with Bruce Woodburn, CrossCountry Mortgage. And yes, I am the Lone Ranger. I appreciate you joining me on this beautiful weekend. Isn't it nice and chilly out? And you're feeling better. I think people got a little pep in their step with this weather. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. We got Thanksgiving coming up. Now, what are we, halfway through November already? Holy moly, that's crazy. But we got a lot to talk about because there's a lot of things happening in the real estate and mortgage industry. And I want to make sure that my clients, my listeners are always 100% informed and know what the real deal is when it comes to your biggest investment, which is your real estate. And I think people need to take that very, very seriously because it's a serious issue. You want to make sure that you are leveraging your real estate so that you're making money all the time. And real estate has been a great way for me to make money. And for those of you that aren't great investors in the market, real estate's the easiest way to make money because it's just forced savings. Every time you make a mortgage payment, some goes toward principal, some goes toward interest. But every single month, that house just keeps going up and up and up. And you think about that. If your house goes up by 4% per year, you bought a $400,000 house, that's going up by $16,000 per year. Okay. 16,000 divided by 12 months is $1,333 a month. You're making $1,333 a month at 4% return on your investment. Okay. Now listen, if you had a $3,000 payment, think about that. You got a $3,000 payment, even a $3,200 payment. Your payment really only is $1,666 because you're making money. Stop renting. It doesn't make any sense to rent. And believe me, I'm a landlord. I have rental properties. I love you people that want to rent, but it's not the right way to get ahead. My name's Bruce Woodburn. My commitment is to helping more people become homeowners, more people save money, but making sure you get into the right investment, that you negotiate it correctly. If you're out looking for property, do me a favor. Do yourself a favor. You want a real estate agent that's going to fight for your money the way you would, or even more. Problem is most real estate agents don't know how to do that. They're not great negotiators. They're great at punching your information into MLS and telling you how many houses are on the market for the price point you're looking at, but that's not going to negotiate. And I'm seeing so many of my clients picking real estate agents that their friends know, or their mom knew, or, the lady down the street. And that's fine. They're wonderful people, but can they negotiate for you? So what I did is I created a program called the Lone Ranger Real Estate Rebate Program. Now, what I did is I handpicked selected real estate agents that I've vetted, that I've done business with. I know how they negotiate. I know how they communicate. I know how good they are. You don't. I can look up every realtor's numbers and tell you how many transactions they've closed on the buy side, the sell side, how long they had it on the market, how close to ask price they got. Wouldn't you like to have that information? Well, you do. All you got to do is call me and I'll connect you with one of the agents and I'm going to give you somebody that specializes in the area that you're looking to buy or sell in. And in return, they do not pay me 1 red cent for that referral, but they do pay you. They pay you, my client, up to 25% of their commission, up to $10,000. That's a lot of money, folks. Don't leave that money on the table. Ask me about the Lone Ranger Real Estate Rebate Program, and I'll get you connected with a great real estate agent. So we got a lot going on. The government shut down, interest rates bobbling all over the place right now. I'm going to be honest with you. Interest rates are actually a little worse today than they were the day the Fed cut the Fed rate. How do you like that? By the tune of 40 basis points on the discount. Now, what that means, folks, is you hear about paying points. Well, 1 point is equal 1% of your loan amount. So if you're borrowing $100,000, you paid $1,000 for a point. You're borrowing $400,000, you paid $4,000 for a point. Now, should you pay points or shouldn't you pay points? That's a different subject. And we can discuss that too, because in some cases you should not. In some cases, you may want to take it into consideration. but I want to put this cost. So now let's just say you're borrowing $100,000, and on the day the Fed cut the Fed rate, which is on the 29th of October, let's just say interest rates were 6.2, which is about where they were. Now they're about 6.3 to 6.4. Now, that actually, you could leave the interest rate the same. You could still get the 6.2. But what would have happened, instead of that loan costing you 1 point, it would cost you 1.4 points. So $400 more per 100,000 to get the same rate. So when you hear me tell you that interest rates could go up after a Fed cut and you think that I'm smoking weed over here, it's not because I'm smoking weed. It's because I know what happens when the Fed does a Fed cut. And oftentimes it makes things worse, not better. So you have to be very, very cautious exactly when to lock and when not to lock. So don't just guess at it, seek professional help. And that's what I'm here for. I've been doing this for 35 years. You can reach me right now in my Tampa office at 813-213-40. Best loan program for your needs. We'll get you the lowest possible interest rate. We'll show you how to negotiate your real estate transaction so you can win. You can win. Listen, there's no such thing as a rich renter. I've never met one. They don't exist. You cannot gain wealth and rent. It doesn't happen. And if you're not good at saving money, then you definitely want to own property. If you're not good at saving money, you should get your hands on as many homes as you can, because it will force you to be a millionaire, whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not. So, all right, let's talk about something else here. Let's talk about Zillow. So, all you folks out there listening, whenever you want to look up a property, where do you go? To Zillow. Okay. Zillow has become the go-to resource for people to check out property values. The problem is that Zillow has become a monster, and monsters are very hungry. And this is one hungry monster. So Zillow, then, knowing that they have got you now trained, and because every time you pull up Zillow, they take and capture your information and then they sell it to a real estate agent to solicit you for business. Now, if you don't want to be out into the dark web and have everybody, looking into all your information, let me know. I will put you on my home bot, my home valuation program, and nobody will ever solicit you when you're checking out the value of your home. So it's free charge for you, no charge whatsoever. I provide it to all my clients, and I'll give it to you if you want to get on my HomeBot program. And it's really better than Zillow. But here's what Zillow's doing. So now they've got you trained to look up, when you want to look up a property, go to Zillow. Then they sell your information. There's number one. Then what they do is they sign up real estate agents on their Premier or their Flex programs. And that real estate agent then gets leads from Zillow. And then Zillow is requiring them to refer you to Zillow Mortgage that they just started. So now there's some big lawsuits out that Zillow is steering their business to Zillow Mortgage. Now, it's illegal to steer a real estate transaction, meaning that if you went to, let's just say you went to Cleve Loveland, who does a show with me on Saturdays on WDBO, and you said, Cleve, I need a name of a good mortgage lender. He goes, well, you got to call Bruce, the loan arranger. He'll take great care of you. Okay, great. That is not steering. That is a referral, but you have options. Now, if Cleve said, if you go to Bruce, I will discount my services And if you don't go to Bruce, I'm going to charge you a higher fee. That's steering, that's extortion, and that's illegal. And Zillow is saying to these premier agents, if you don't refer a certain percentage of the clients that you get by buying the Zillow leads, and by the way, they're charging the realtor 70% of the commission. 70. So you think about this. You got a real estate transaction. Okay. Let's just say you got a $500,000 house and the commission is 2.75%. That's $13,750. Now, Zillow is taking $9,625 right off the bat from the realtor. Now, what's left in that? So you got 13,750 times 30% is four. So the realtor's only getting 4,100. Now the realtor has to split that with their broker. So now they're only getting 2,000, assuming they're at a 50% split. Now, who's doing all the work? The realtor? They're not getting paid. Now they're getting told that if you don't send that mortgage over to Zillow, then we're going to cut you off or we're going to not give you the quality leads. That's extortion. That's illegal. That should not happen. Nobody should, and builders do this all the time, but builders are exempt because they're considered a seller and not a real estate agent. But still, builders will say, well, you can use any mortgage company you want, but if you use this mortgage company that's affiliated with me, then we'll pay X amount of dollars toward your closing costs. They can do that, but a real estate agent can't do that. They can't do that. It's not legal. My name's Bruce Woodburn. I'm the loan arranger. You can call me now in Tampa at 813-213-4009 or Orlando at 407-706-3313. You want a lender that's going to take great care of you? I've got more loan programs than anybody you could ever talk to in the mortgage business. I've been doing this for 35 years. I'm committed to excellence. I want my clients to have an excellent experience when it comes to a mortgage. I want my clients to be connected with the best possible real estate agent. I want my clients to be informed on how to negotiate a real estate transaction. I do it every day, but you don't. Don't you want somebody that's going to be an advocate for you? Hey, listen, I got no skin in the game for what you pay for a house. I only care. That's why I do this. And that's why I'm on the air. And that's why I'm here to help more and more of you, because I think you need my help. And you don't have an advocate out there. And you don't even have a realtor advocate. You think they do because they're nice, but they're crappy negotiators. Let me get you with a good negotiator. I'm watching a couple of clients right now that pick their own agent, and I can't say anything to them because the agent's just leaving money on the table and giving them bad advice. They think it's good advice because he's nice, but they're not giving him good advice. They're leaving my client's money on the table, and I can't say anything about it because they chose them. You want me to help you? I'll choose a real estate agent for you that you can interview. If you don't absolutely love them, you don't feel like they're amazing, then you fire them and you tell me, because I won't give you anybody that I don't think is absolutely over the top unbelievable. I got one of my clients called me from the radio. Scott's probably listening today. Won't say his last name. I referred him to Stephanie. Okay, she's a real estate agent that works over in, Daytona, New Smyrna, Edgewater, Holly Hill, all that area in there, Oak Hill. And he's out looking at property and he was using his own agent. And now I referred him to Stephanie and I asked him over the weekend, how's it going? He goes, oh my God, thank you so much for referring her to me.